Hello, my name is Cornell Anthony. My NID is N10335474, and this is the computer security lab for the chat room using Python. So let me start off with the encryption that we are using. It is the AES, the Advanced Encryption Standard. It is based on the Rijndael cipher developed by two Belgian cryptographers. The basic description of the cipher is that it is based on a design principle known as the substitution permutation network combination of both substitution and permutation. And unlike its predecessor DES, ADS does not use a fiestal network. So basically we are using AES is because DES has been broken down and AES is more secure than DES. So I'm using AES in this particular code for the server and client kind of a chat room environment. So AES operates on a 414 column major or a matrix of bytes termed the state, wherein from conversion from the plain text to the cipher text, that is the final input, you might have 10 cycles of repetition for the 128-bit keys. The high level description of the algorithm would be you'll have the key expansions, wherein round keys are derived from the cipher key. The initial round, where each byte of the state is combined with a block of the round key using bitwise XOR. Then you'll have the rounds, wherein you have the subbytes, the shift rows, the mix columns, and the add round key, and then you'll have the final round. So this is it about the AES. And as I said before, we're using AES because it's more secure than the DES, which has been already broken down. The AES is the most used word in today's security environment, security world. So AES 256 is a pretty secure version of the encryption and decryption algorithm. So now let's go back to the code. As you can see, this is the server code. So what I have basically done is, so this is the importing of the libraries, the socket and the time. We are using both these libraries in the code. The host and the port of the server is mentioned. The host is the loopback and the port is 5000 is given. I've created a list, an array of clients. So as and when clients get added, they get appended to these clients, this thing. So now here we create a socket for the server binding the host and the port in this particular line. Now here if you go and check, quitting is equal to false. That is like we've just set a boolean variable which will be used in this particular while loop. So we are this is receiving from a buffer which is set to a maximum limit of 1024. So when the client sends a chat message, the server receives it using the data and the address. And what here we are doing is, after that it receives from the client, it sends to all the other clients. So that's how we create the chat room. So once a client sends a message, it comes to the server and the server sends it to all the clients in the list. This particular line says it keeps adding the client's address in the list. So whenever a new client adds a message to the server, it keeps adding into the client array. So this is the server code. Now it's going for the client code. There are more libraries to be implemented because in the client code we're doing the AES encryption and the decryption. So using the AES we've created the initial vector, and this is the cipher using the key, the mode, and the initial vector. We're creating an object for the AES using this particular library from crypto.cipher in Python 2.7. We're creating a lock here which I'll explain in ahead. Now this is the block size, the pad and the unpad which are using for encryption and decryption. So we set the block size to 16. This is the key that is already been set. So once the client enters this particular key, he gets access to the chat room, or else he gets a garbage value in his window. So now this is receiving from the server. This particular loop is for receiving from the server. So the server gets encrypted messages from the client, and while receiving it, it gets the encrypted and then it decrypts it over here. So as you can see, first it decodes using the base 64, then it unpads and it decrypts. So this is the decryption function of the AES while receiving it, and it will display the decrypted value if the key is correct. So this is the key which matches the key over here. So if you enter the right key, it will be decrypted, otherwise it will be the garbage value. So again, we're creating a socket for the client. They're using the thread for this receiving function which keeps on running, and we start the thread here. This alias in this message is for the the name, which client is sending the message, that particular client's name will go in the alias, and the message is the data. So here we are padding it for the encryption purposes, and here we are encrypting it using the AES. So and then we release the lock after it's all done. So this is the client code. Now I'll just give you the description of so I've opened the server. This is the server, this thing which I've run quite a lot of commands. So as we say, it says Python server 1 and it just started. So I've tried a lot about this thing. So I haven't chosen to decrypt in the server, so it is the encrypted version itself in the server. Now these are 3 clients at the behind that we can see. So this is 1, 2 and 3. Okay, so in this particular thing, like this, I have started the client program has Python client 2. I've given the name as con, and the key, this is the correct key. So if we so and this is the second client wherein this is given the right key again. Like you will see here, this is the second client, FU, and this is the key given, and this is the third client wherein the key is not proper, so it's the wrong key. So what happens when we give the messages? So supposing I type hey foo, if I give it over here, if you check in this thing, you click enter, you get from this thing hey foo, and in this thing, because this is the incorrect key, you will have the garbage value. So just one more example of supposing foo writes hey Cornell. So if you try in this thing, here you get hey Cornell from foo, and here it will be a garbage value. So this is it about the clients that we're using. And to show that it is encrypted, the server at this point of time, yes, March 14, 13, 21 is the time. So this is the message now. So like you can see the time here, it's March 4, 1:22 p.m. We have this particular messages that have been sent in the encrypted form to the server. So that's the server explanation of the particular program. So since Wireshark doesn't use the loopback address, I have explained it using the server itself, like to show the encrypted messages. Alright, thank you, bye bye.